Hello, my name is John Gartner, and I'd like to talk with you a few minutes about the tax code, Title 26. I know this brings heartburn to a lot of people, and it did to me for years until I've discovered something that I think you should know about. It's this little book. It's called Cracking the Code: The Fascinating Truth About Taxation in America by legal scholar Peter Hendrickson. This book is a gold mine. It's the Bible in relation to the tax code, which is this thing right here. My version is 206, and it's about, I don't know, over 9,500 pages thick. Now, we are going to be getting our information returns in about 3 weeks. Today is January 7th, 2017. When we get those little pieces of paper in the mail, they're going to say we made wages, we had dividends, we had interest, we sold books maybe and made royalties. They're going to be saying a lot of things. So my question is to you, are those little pieces of paper truthful? I know they're sent under penalty of perjury statements by the people that make them out. And the IRS deems them to be true and accurate, but are they? So let's delve into a little bit of why and how they are sent, and if they are in fact truthful when you get them. So I'm going to go into the code here. This is section 6041, and it says information at source. Payments of $600 or more. All persons engaged in a trade or business and making payment in the course of such trade or business to another person of rent, salaries, wages, premiums, annuities, compensations, remunerations, emoluments, or other fixed or determinable gains, profits, and income, will send out the forms. So, if you've read Pete's book, Cracking the Code, you will understand that liberally dispersed throughout this code are terms that are redefined by Congress into legal terms, words and terms. So, because we know that, we look in here and we find the term trade or business. Actually, it's a phrase until it's redefined. So, we know now, because of this, to go back in the back of the section of my code, section 7701, and we find that trade or business is a defined term, and it's defined thusly. The term trade or business includes the performance of the functions of a public office. Wow. So we also know that when one thing is named in a statute or a definition, everything else is excluded. So, you say, well, what about the word includes? Well, the Supreme Court has ruled that includes means additional items not mentioned in the same class. So, if this says the performance of the functions of a public office, anything remotely connected with a public office, whether it be the Secretary of Agriculture, the driver for the Secretary of Agriculture, the women in the typing pool, if there is such a thing anymore, associated with the federal government in any capacity, including soldiers, sailors, airmen, the President, Vice President, all members of Congress, etc., they are under this definition. Now, if you work for a company who cannot be defined, as in the code here, as performing the functions of a public office, then there's no reason for them to send you out a 1099 or a W-2. They've sent them in error, and if they know about this law and they sent them anyway, then they're fraudulent. So what do you do about something like that? Well, Pete's explained it all in here in great detail. It tells you the history of the code, what it really means, how to decipher certain things, where to look for other things. He does it in bold print where it's important. Now, these terms of art, and there are about 40 of them or more, I think, back here. Yeah, there's 49 or so. They're not underlined in the code. They're not emboldened. They're not in italics. So it's up to you, the reader, and the tax writer assumes that you know how to read this code. And if you don't know how to read it, then that's tough, because if you send in a 1040 with your W-2 attached saying, yes, I made wages, which is another defined term, then they're going to accept it. And you'll be out whatever tax money that you should have gotten back. So, to help you understand this farther, I consider this tax code a beneath the surface law. You must dig down below the first thing you read to get the true essence of what they're talking about in terms of taxes. This little book will save you a fortune over your lifetime. I was an airline pilot for 33 years, made decent money, suffered great heartburn every year during tax time trying to save some of my withholdings. And I was successful to some extent, but I never got them all back. Never got all the withholdings back, including Social Security and Medicare tax. Now, Pete has discovered this because the tax code is digitized. It's on the internet. You can flip back and forth much quicker than you can by going from one section to the other in a book. So he spent a lot of time and effort to create this little book. It's documented with Supreme Court rulings. It's just beyond reproach. So I implore you, if you want to sign an accurate 1040 at the end of the year, and when you do sign that, of course, under penalty of perjury, you're not only attesting to the numbers are correct, but also it's legally correct. So I suggest you get this little book, read it again, go to Pete's website to get it. It's called losthorizons.com, losthorizons.com, and you can order it there. It's 25 bucks. And if the government has ever saved, or kept more than $25 of your withheld money, it's well worth the money, especially over a lifetime. Now, on that website you'll see a lot of other good things, including over 1,000 documented 100% returns of taxes withheld, Social Security taxes withheld, and Medicare taxes withheld. People have 1,000 or more, over the tens of thousands that have taken advantage of this, had agreed to let Pete publish their 1040s and a picture of their checks. And they show you exactly how they did it on there, what they said, and they all used government forms, so IRS forms. So, in a nutshell, that's what I wanted to speak with you about today. It's tax time's coming up. If you are a family, you should have one of these books. If you're single, you should have one of these books. If you have children, when they turn 16, you ought to present them with one of these books, the same as their license. Call it a rite of passage, whatever. But the knowledge in here will save everyone thousands of dollars over the course of their working life or investing life, because I don't work anymore. I've been retired 17 years, so I have investment income at this point in pensions. But whatever you may get in the mail this coming January 31st or before, make sure it's correct. Make sure the company that sends these out is a trade or business as defined in the code, and not just a trade or business that we think of when we hear the term, like a physician or a car dealer or Walmart or any of the thousands of companies that are not operating as a trade or business as defined in the code. I hope this helps. Good luck to you. I hope you read it and enjoy it and take advantage of it. Thank you very much for watching.